This is ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
Good morning, Carolina. I'm Tamara Scott. It's Saturday, January 10th. This morning on Eyewitness News. Deadly shooting in Stovall overnight. One dead, another in the hospital. Suspects in custody. What we're learning this morning. And the 911 transcripts reveal details of the Zoe Welsh attack. Residents say they're locking their doors and staying vigilant. Neighbors call for more community policing. And after deadly shootings, cities call for calm. FBI lead multiple investigators. Well, let's take a look at the Raleigh skyline this morning, and it looks nice, but there is like some clouds going on. And let's check in with First Alert meteorologist Steve Stewart, because Steve, when I woke up this morning, I thought I skipped a couple of months and woke up in spring.
Yeah, easily. Well, starting out in the 60s is something you would expect late May, early June, by the way. So yeah, definitely warm out there. Turning colder tomorrow, though, in a big way. More on that coming up in just a few minutes, Tamara.
Thank you, Steve. Well, if you download our free ABC 11 mobile app, you'll be alerted about any potential severe weather. We'll send you those watches and warnings straight to your device. And a deadly shooting is under investigation in Stovall overnight. The sheriff's office says one person died. A second victim was taken to Duke Hospital. A suspect is in custody, and authorities say it was an isolated incident with no threat to the community. Investigators are asking anyone with information to come forward. Also overnight, Durham police are investigating a shooting on Lodeston Drive. Officers found an adult man with gunshot wounds just after 10 p.m. He was taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No word yet on the suspects as this investigation continues. Now to Raleigh. A week after 57-year-old Zoe Welsh called 911 during a break-in on January 3rd, the police have released her transcript. It reveals the terrifying minutes before help arrived. Her death has left neighbors shocked and demanding answers. Jimmy's Price breaks down what we've learned. And as we continue to follow this investigation and calls for increased safety, there is heartbreak for the family of Zoe Welsh, a beloved mother and teacher. And streaming now on ABC11.com, a look back at everything we've learned so far about the timeline of this case, the impact on the community, and the legal implications it could have for our state. That includes our sit-down interview with renowned NC Central law professor Irving Joyner. Well, Durham honors Dr. King with art and celebration. MLK Day events kick off this afternoon. In a new push to cut credit card costs, President Trump proposes a rate cap. And bear it all for charity, why runners will strip down in Durham. First, good morning, Steve.
Hey, good morning there, Tamara.
And we are getting a live look at the downtown Durham skyline there. Looking a little foggy this morning, but I know that it's warm as well. Good morning, Carolina. It's Saturday, January 10th. I'm Tamara Scott. You're watching Eyewitness News now on ABC 11 and wherever you stream. The top stories and all of the day's news is just ahead. But first, we do have to check in with meteorologist Steve Stewart, because it is warmer outside than typically we would expect for January.
Not even close. Yeah, we typically will start around freezing, and we're starting in the low 60s.
Ooh,
so
man.
Yeah, more on that coming up in a few minutes. Tamara?
Thank you, Steve. Well, for the second night in a row, protesters gathered at the CCB Plaza in Durham before marching through the streets, condemning this week's 2 shootings involving federal immigration agents. Our crew on the ground, walking with the group, saw them lighting off fireworks in the street, holding up signs and chanting. Durham police say minor property damage was reported. At this time, no arrests have been made. And this morning, new questions about the use of force by federal agents after a deadly shooting of a Minneapolis woman. The newly obtained video recorded by the ICE agent himself is now at the center of a federal investigation. As protests spread from Minneapolis to Portland, Oregon, here's ABC's Johnny Fernandez.
For the first time, ABC News, New York.
Meanwhile, the American military has boarded another oil tanker in the Caribbean, the 5th ship targeted in the Trump administration's effort to stop Venezuelan-linked oil shipments. The operation was carried out before dawn by U.S. Marines and Navy personnel, part of a months-long buildup of American forces in the region. The U.S. Southern Command says there is no safe haven for criminals as the administration continues to track and control the distribution of Venezuela's oil products. Now, that operation comes as President Trump meets with oil executives. He's trying to persuade them to invest in Venezuela's massive reserves. Sources with inside knowledge say companies want to ensure a return on their investment. They say the executives want to ensure rule of law to keep their employees and equipment safe. Other demands include political stability, the lifting of sanctions, and financial guarantees. Sources say oil executives want Trump to provide a clear strategy for achieving those goals. And protests in Iran are nearing the 2-week mark as authorities intensify a crackdown on demonstrators. Human rights groups say dozens have been killed and thousands detained as internet and phone service remains cut off across much of the country. With Tehran warning protesters could face execution, opposition figures are now calling for a nationwide strike. Now, activists say that at least 65 people have been killed and more than 2,300 arrested amid protests over Iran's crippling economy. Authorities have imposed a nationwide internet blackout, which residents say may be fueling more anger. President Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio have voiced support for protesters, while Iran's supreme leader blames the U.S. for stirring unrest.
I've made the statement very strongly.
Well, now to your morning health check. Here in North Carolina, a measles hotline and vaccination clinic have been established in Buncombe County to help prevent the spread of a highly contagious disease. Currently, there are 3 confirmed cases in the county, with more than 24 individuals potentially exposed. Public health officials have also been actively reaching out to those who may have been exposed at Mission Hospital's Biltmore Avenue Emergency Department on January 4th. And flu numbers continue to climb across the country. According to a new report from the CDC, there have been at least 15 million illnesses and 180,000 hospitalizations, 7,400 deaths this flu season. That includes 17 pediatric deaths. 26 states, including North Carolina right here, are seeing very high flu-like illnesses. Well, no left turns ahead. A major change coming to Chatham County at an intersection. And all aboard again, North Carolina trains set another record. Plus, a Broadway voice at Bank of America Stadium. Who's singing the anthem today? But first, good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Tamara. Good morning, everybody.